Welcome to The Explainer. You know how confusing the world of supplements can be, right? Well, today we're cutting through all that noise. We're going to dive deep into an expert's very precise, number-driven, 6-month plan to safely get your vitamin D and ferritin levels right where they need to be. Forget the vague advice. This is a clear, actionable strategy. So picture this. You get your blood test results back, and your doctor says, hey, your levels are a bit low. And then they just say, you should probably take some supplements. But what does that actually mean? What's the real day-to-day plan? That's the specific roadmap we are laying out right now. Okay, let's jump right into the vitamin D3 roadmap. And just so we're clear, we're not talking about a tiny little bump here. The goal is a huge, measurable increase over the next 6 months. It's all about doubling your levels.
So here's the target, plain and simple. The plan is designed to take you from a really common starting point of 30 nanograms per milliliter, which, is just how they measure the concentration in your blood, all the way up to an optimal level of 60. The mission is pretty straightforward. Double your starting number.
So, the big question is, how do you actually do that? Well, according to the expert, it all comes down to this one number, 5,000 international units of vitamin D3 every single day. That's the fuel for this whole 6-month journey. And this is what's so cool. You can literally see how it's supposed to work month by month. If you're consistently taking those 5,000 units a day, the plan predicts this really steady climb of about 5 points in your blood level each month. It's a super clear, trackable path from that starting point of 30 right up to your goal of 60. All right, let's switch gears and talk about ferritin. Now, the best way to think about ferritin is like your body's own iron savings account. And if you want to start making deposits into that account, the expert has a really simple but super powerful rule. Here's the main idea, and it's a big one. To actually start storing iron as ferritin, you can't just get enough for your body's day-to-day needs. That won't cut it. You have to go way beyond that. The guideline from the source is to triple your usual iron intake. That's how you start banking it for later. And this is where it gets really practical and personal. Take a look at how that tripling rule actually plays out in terms of daily amounts. For a non-menstruating female or for a guy, that's about 30 milligrams a day. But, and this is a huge difference, for a menstruating female whose body needs more iron to begin with, tripling that amount means a much, much higher dose of around 90 milligrams a day. Okay, so we've got a solid plan for both vitamin D and ferritin. It seems simple enough, but hold on, because this next part, this is, without a doubt, the most important piece of this whole explainer. It's the expert's critical warning about what not to do. This quote from the source really hits it home. It points out a super common and honestly, a pretty dangerous mistake. People start a supplement plan. They have the best intentions, but then they just forget about it. They fall into this set it and forget it trap. And as the expert warns, that's when things can go really wrong. And when those levels get way too high, we're talking specifically when vitamin D gets over that 100 nanograms per milliliter mark, it stops being helpful. In fact, it can become toxic, and it starts causing real problems, like that joint pain and other inflammatory issues mentioned in the source. And that brings us to the golden rule, the single most important action you have to take. And the expert could not be clearer on this. After 90 days, you have to either get a follow-up blood test to see where you're at, or you must stop the high-dose treatment. It's your non-negotiable safety check, period. Let's be absolutely clear about what this all means. This whole protocol, it's a short-term therapeutic strategy designed to fix a problem. This is not a forever plan. The entire goal is to hit your target level, and then, working with your doctor, you switch over to a much lower dose just to maintain it. So the final takeaway here is pretty simple. Having a specific, number-driven plan is an amazing tool. It's powerful, but it's the constant monitoring, the checking in, that makes it both safe and effective. The roadmap is right here, so the only real question left is the one you have to ask yourself. Are you ready to start supplementing smart?